Once upon a time, not so long ago, no one thought a good Batman game was possible. Disappointments and cancellations meant that the hope had all but died. Until a developer one day came along and turned it all upside down with Batman Arkham Asylum. Rocksteady were the kings, the game was received well, and above all else, the green light was given for a sequel. But would it live up to the massive expectations? Arkham Asylum had revolutionized the superhero genre, now they were being asked to do it again. Is it even possible? Well, no. You can't reinvent the car again, but you can give it a better engine. Welcome to Arkham City. So 2011 rolls around and the sequel to Arkham City comes out, and the world collectively agrees that it is a vast improvement in almost every department. Even to this day, the game still looks fantastic and is super engaging, while not actually changing the main gameplay loops too much, but the changes it does make are amazing. First thing I'll talk about that I forgot to mention when I spoke about Asylum is detective vision. It puts the whole world into a simplified colour scheme and highlights the things that can be interacted with, vantage points, and enemies. The main problem with it in Asylum is that you need to use it for a good 70 to 80% of the game's runtime, because you need to follow a trail or you're using it in the plentiful stealth encounters, which meant that you missed out on a lot of the game's fantastic environmental design. How does City fix this problem? Well, in terms of how detective mode operates, it doesn't. If anything, City cuts out more detail from the environments than Asylum did. But where it does improve on is how detective mode is used. I can count on one hand how many times I had to follow a trail. It was once, and even then it was a part of the map we had traversed a few times by that point, so I had already taken in all the details. The first big step up from Asylum in this game is the scale. Asylum was confined to a flat, claustrophobic design. But City expands this space to include a small area of Gotham converted into a prison town, with recognisable landmarks to make traversal easier. This scale is impressive and allows for a wider variety in locations and height. Asylum had a problem of being mostly all on one level, but City has buildings that tower above the streets and dips that extend down to the ocean, with a whole other city below the streets and a windy sewer and subway system. To go with this bigger city is a new form of traversal by the way of the gliding mechanics. Grapple up to a building and run off the edge and continue holding the run button to glide. You can press R2 while gliding, which will send you into a dive, trading a little bit of height for more forward momentum. Second step up is the story, and don't get me wrong, the story in City is a good one. But I couldn't help but feel it was designed with set pieces in mind first, and then having the best ones stitched together. The individual moments are amazing. The Joker being sick, fighting Mr. Freeze, taking on the demon trials, ascending Wonder Tower. But when looking at the story overall, they don't link together very well. It's more like a TV show, with individual episode plots and a season arc in the background, rather than a single narrative. Not saying I didn't enjoy it, because I absolutely did. Just that it could have been a little more connected and focused. However, the voice cast do a great job at selling it. Kevin Conroy puts in another great Batman performance, and Mark Hamill absolutely kills it as Joker, especially since this time he had to play him as being on death's door. The story is about Batman being dragged into the latest prison in Gotham, the titular Arkham City, by Hugo Strange, who kidnaps Bruce Wayne, and reveals that he knows that he and the Dark Knight are one and the same. He also tells us that Protocol 10 is ready to commence. We make our escape and suit up before saving Catwoman from Two-Face, where she is nearly shot by Joker. We investigate further and are met with Harley Quinn in the church and find that the sniper was remote controlled. We track the signal, controlling it down to the steel mill, and enter the Joker's domain. Inside, we are poisoned by the Joker after he catches us with the old fake Joker gag.
You fell for the old fake Joker gag, Batman!
He informs us that his blood is infected with Titan from when he injected himself back at the asylum, and now he's given us some of his blood, as well as sending it out to hospitals all over Gotham. Now the race is on to get the cure before we die, so we can save not only ourselves, but the city as well. Freeze was working on a cure for Joker, so we head to the coldest point in Gotham to find him, but Penguin has Freeze in his museum, so we head there to get him. We can't get in though, because Penguin is jamming our signal to hack the door, so we go and destroy his jammers before heading in. Some cops are being held inside, and Penguin has Freeze's gun, so we save some of them, find Freeze who tells us how to defeat Penguin before we defeat him and save the last of the cops. We ask Freeze about the cure, but we need a reforming enzyme that is bonded to human DNA for it to work. So we need to find someone with that DNA. Ra's al Ghul. Luckily, one of his assassins leaves us a trail to follow. We chase after the assassin and plant a tracker on her before letting her escape. Robin turns up and offers his help, but Batman gives him a sample of his blood and tells him to analyse it and find it in every hospital in Gotham. We find Wonder City and nearly die before meeting Talia al Ghul, who tells us to meet Ra's we must undertake the demon trials. We complete these and defeat Ra's al Ghul before heading back to GCPD. We give a sample to Freeze and he makes 2 vials of the cure before breaking one and deciding to fight us. We defeat him and go to get the last of the cure, but it has been stolen by Harley Quinn. We head back to the steel mill and come face to face with a much healthier looking Joker. We are pinned under some rubble and Talia saves us from Joker by offering him immortality. The two walk away and we pass out. We wake up being saved by Catwoman as Protocol 10 has started. Strange's plan was to kill everyone in Arkham City in order to eradicate crime from Gotham completely. We ascend up Wonder Tower and stop him, but he's stabbed by Ra's al Ghul, who Strange was working for this entire time. Oracle stops Protocol 10, but Strange activates Protocol 11, which is a self-destructive Wonder Tower. Batman and Ra's dive through the air, and Ra's is impaled on the Arkham City sign and dies. Joker then broadcasts that he's holding Talia at the Monarch Theatre and we make our way there. Talia stabs Joker, but is shot from elsewhere in the theatre before all is revealed. Joker isn't well at all. The better version of him that we've been seeing has been Clayface the whole time, posing as the Joker. We fight Clayface and during the course of our duel, we are dropped from the theatre down to the Lazarus Pit where we fought Ra's. And upon defeating Clayface, we take the cure, leaving a little for Joker. Batman ponders whether or not he should give Joker the cure, before Joker stabs him and he drops it. As he chokes on his last breath, Batman tells him that even after everything the Joker has done, he would have still saved him. The Joker laughs at this, and dies with a smile on his face. As I stated, I like this story, but I hope through my description you can see how it becomes very disconnected and episodic after we meet the Joker and the original hook of Protocol 10 is pushed to the side. I just wish that these plots could have been more intertwined, or drop one of them entirely, because the Cure plot feels like a wild goose chase and Hugo Strange never gets a chance to be a real villain before we defeat him. However, while this game maybe didn't have the greatest story of all time, it was an improvement over Asylum, with characters I actually cared about other than Batman. But how did Arkham City improve the main gameplay loops? The stealth segments are improved by forcing you to use more of the game's mechanics. Asylum often had a tendency that stealth encounters could be done almost entirely with the inverted takedown. In City, most of the encounters with gargoyles have them placed in areas where enemies won't or can't walk, forcing you to get up close and personal with them. Also, enemies in this game will take hostages more often in normal stealth encounters, which ramps up the tension considerably. The usual systems are of course still in place. Silent takedowns, glide kicks, drop attacks, great takedowns, and even the odd inverted takedown, with a few new moves added in like double takedown, which was incredibly helpful. Stalking from vantage point to sneak up behind goons is still incredibly fun in City as it was in Asylum, and also the mandatory stealth has been cut down a lot to make way for more free flow combat. Free flow combat has been improved substantially. Asylum only had a few extra moves aside from the base attacks and counters, but City has so many upgrades that means that combat has so many more options. Upon achieving a combo of 8 you can perform a special takedown, or with some upgrades you can use a bat swarm or throw batarangs at downed enemies to take them out of the fight. Another upgrade is Free Flow Focus. If you get a combo of 12 without using any special combo moves, you enter into a state where you hit harder and faster and your combo turns red. This state will be interrupted the second you use a special combo move or you drop the combo, but it's really fun to try and build back up to. New gadgets also add a new spice to the combat, namely the remote electric charge, which will stun an enemy for a few seconds, or the freeze blast, which takes an enemy out for a much longer amount of time. One of the things new to Arkham City are side missions. I only encountered a few of these and finished even fewer of them because I didn't find them overly interesting. Riddler I didn't engage with beyond saving the first hostage because fuck the Riddler challenges, and I saw one victim in the identity theft side quest. The ones I did finish were the Mad Hatter's side quest, Heart of Ice, the AR training, and the Disruptor upgrade. Mad Hatter's quest was a basic combat encounter, but I did enjoy the visuals of falling on a clock face. The Disruptor upgrade was by far the easiest, as I just had to go to the Iceberg Lounge. Heart of Ice was a nice cap-off to the Mr. Freeze story, reuniting him with Nora, and the AR training was a lot of fun and got me really good at gliding, and the Grapnel Boost upgrade made traversal so much better. There are more side quests that I could have done, but many of those just pop up while traversing the world, and I mainly focused on the story for this video, so I did what showed up on my map. Boss fights this time around are a step up from Asylum. Solomon Grundy is a good introduction and tests your ability to quickfire different gadgets. Ra's al Ghul was fun with his different phases offering unique challenges, plus the visuals are amazing with a massive Ra's al Ghul and an army of sand people attacking you. Mr. Freeze is a highlight, as he is a stealth-based boss who learns from your attacks. If you take down Freeze by using a particular method, he will activate a countermeasure or destroy that method, so that you have to switch it up, and it really tested me to figure out new methods on the fly. The Clayface boss was really fun in the theatre with getting him to roll into explosives and freezing him to make him punchable, and then when we drop into the Lazarus Pit, Batman fights with a sword, giving him a whole new moveset while we take out the clay people before freezing him some more. The bosses were overall a massive improvement, but some still felt slightly underwhelming or as if they should have lasted longer, like Mr. Freeze, but wanting more of something good isn't much of a problem in my eyes. The other thing I want to talk about is the DLC. There's two main pieces of DLC for this game, Catwoman and Harley Quinn's Revenge. Catwoman is integrated into the main campaign, and I felt she was extremely underutilised. We start off as her, then switch to her again when Batman gets knocked out by Harley, where we fight Poison Ivy thugs, and then we don't change back to her until near the end of the campaign, where we break into Strange's vault and then save Batman. And then the final time we change to her is at the end, where we take out Two-Face in a stealth boss fight that was kind of lame. It felt like a lot of effort was put into making Catwoman feel like a distinct character in gameplay, but then she shows up for what felt like 10 minutes of the whole campaign, and it feels like wasted potential. Especially with the changes made to movement and stealth. Stealth is cool as Catwoman because she doesn't have Batman's cape and can grip to the metal mesh ceilings, which is different to the usual methods of the Dark Knight. Meanwhile, her movement is changed by having her whip to each building and having to press a button with good timing to make it up the building as fast as possible. This is so much more interesting than how Batman traverses the city, but unfortunately it's not used to its full potential. Meanwhile, Harley Quinn's Revenge has us taking control of Robin, with a few Batman sections a few weeks after the main campaign where Batman is captured after going into the steel mill to save some kidnapped cops. So Robin has to go in and find them. I enjoyed playing as Robin, as his slight differences to Batman make the gameplay feel fresh. My favourite move he has is one of his special combos where he hits a bunch of enemies with his staff. The main boss as Robin is a stealth boss against Harley, and it was pretty good and took me a while because of Robin's more limited moves in stealth. But the part that gave me the most trouble was the fight before I saved Batman. This fight took me about 4 tries because the combination of enemies is a really tough fight with 2 knifers, 2 shields, a few stun battens, 2 armoured thugs and a Titan monster. The combination of these enemy types and their different methods of taking them down that sometimes contradict one another made this fight tough and definitely a little frustrating. Aside from that, I really enjoyed this DLC and it was a good bookend on Arkham City. We also have the returning challenge mode, but this time we can play these challenges as Batman, Catwoman, Robin and Nightwing, each of which has their own moveset and brings a new dimension to combat or stealth. Although I do need to point out that Nightwing looks a little odd, as if his dimensions are ever so slightly off, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I think these challenges are fun for yet more kicks of Arkham combat or stealth. That's all I have to say about Arkham City. This game was certainly not the perfect package that people built it up to be, but I can see why so many hold this up as their favourite Arkham game. Next time we'll be tackling the ugly duck of this franchise to see if it really deserves that title. But for now, Arkham City is a solid game that still holds up amazingly today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Hello everyone, and welcome to what is most likely going to be my final video of 2023. I hope you've all had a wonderful holiday season. I certainly have had a bit of a stressful time and not had a lot of time to work on videos, but hopefully this will suffice and be a satisfying conclusion to the year. So this is part 2, obviously, in a series. We talked about Batman Arkham Asylum last time, we're going to talk about Origins next time, and then we'll move on to Arkham Knight and on to Gotham Knights as well. Will be included in this little 5-part series that I'm going to do, which I'm going to continue into 2024. It's been quite a year. I'll basically do a small wrap up here. But yeah, it's been quite a time, to be honest. You know, it's been a lot of reviews, video essays, stuff like that. We've done so much. Hopefully I'll do an actual proper wrap-up video at some point. But to give a kind of summation here, I've had an absolutely great year, and honestly I feel quite good right now at where I'm at. And I just hope that you guys are enjoying the content, continuing to like it, sharing it around, doing all that good stuff that you guys do. You guys have shown incredible support this year, with my videos being more like highly viewed than they've ever been, which I cannot thank you enough for, because that is what gives me the motivation when I'm feeling really down and wondering, you know, why I'm putting in all this effort and things like that. It's you guys who help bring me back from that edge by leaving wonderful comments, interacting with me on social media, and things like that. I know I've taken very much a step back in terms of how active I am. You know, I've not been streaming on Twitch quite as much, and there's been sort of almost, you know, like some, you know, a bit more time between videos occasionally when they're not ready and things like that. But hopefully, I don't know if I'll be able to like be more frequent next year, but I will strive to keep up the quality that you guys are becoming used to, try out more things, and hopefully by the time we get to the end of this Arkham series, I'll have got motivation for a few other games and be able to talk about those as well. But anyway, I'll leave that be. That's everything from me, and I'll see you all next time, and I'll see you all next year. Bye.